रक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्. Namaskaram. Very warm welcome. Such a beautiful temple of arts. And my gratitude again to Sri Lakshman Guruji and his family and all of you for being here. I thank my friend Deepa. Because of her, I had the opportunity to come and be with all of you. The topic that I would love to share with you is about the relevance and the transformational nature of Bharathanatyam, which is a wealth of our civilization. Bharathanatyam, because my field of training is Bharathanatyam, it also includes every other dance form that our country has given. In my productions, I began with Panchatantra. Panchatantra is a story which includes animals and human beings to convey values of living. We all do our work, we all focus on our career, which is good for living, but for life, the values with which we live is very important, and that value is given by art and culture. Any communication is an art. When the communication and what it conveys is knowledge. Whatever is conveyed by communication is knowledge. When the communication is about the sanctity, is about the sacredness, it's about how life can be enlightened and elevated, and every message becomes sacred. The background that we all come from, the city where we live, the state we belong to, the country we belong to, all bring forth a certain art and culture in our living, which we can see right from our food, to the dress, to the language, to the dance, the music, and many other ways it manifests itself. And when we are exposed to that, it makes us understand the beauty and wisdom of life. And when we understand the beauty and wisdom of life through the means of art and culture, our life becomes very meaningful and purposeful. So through the productions that I've done, let me share with you how it can transform and how relevant it is, even though the tradition is timeless. How come is ancient? How come it remains timeless, even though the tradition is timeless, the art form is timeless? How come it always remains relevant? That is the beauty of this art and culture. Let me come back to Panchatantra. During the time when I used to teach in an ashram in the US, there were children from the age of 5 till about 15, 16. And when they came to the class, each one is annoyed with their sibling. They will not sit together. So if I say, please sit, no, I will not sit with my sister, she's annoying. Or the girl will say, I hate my brother, I don't want to come to class because he's there. So it was very sweet to hear them express so much of irritation, but I knew it was only out of love. And when I started telling the stories of from the Puranas, of how it is so beautiful. For example, when there was fight among the siblings, I will tell about the affection between Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna. Four brothers from the Itihasa of Ramayana. I would say, suppose Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna are playing carrom board. Rama would love it if Bharata wins. Shatrughna will love it if Lakshmana wins. They will never feel sad that the other person has won. So when I built that stories, at the end of 1 week of camp, I would see each of the siblings being very protective of the other. So the sister will say, if someone kisses her brother, she will say, do not say anything against my brother. So how the stories really touch the children and how they want to become better than what they are. That's why we have stories, and the art and Bharatanatyam is full of stories. I think any form of expression is full of stories. Why do we need stories? Because we always want to look up to something so that we elevate ourselves. So here is a very nice story from Panchatantra. Panchatantra is believed to be written around the 2nd century BC by a very great scholar called Pandit Vishnu Sharma. So I believe there was a king who had 4 sons, and they were very dull-witted, impolite, ill-mannered, and did not have any interest towards the statecraft and taking care of their kingdom and their people. So the king was very sad, and he was wondering how would he transform his children. So one of the wise ministers comes to the king and says, I know a great scholar called Pandit Vishnu Sharma, let us go to him. Pandit Vishnu Sharma is in his 80s, and he tells the king, don't worry, you leave your sons with me. Through stories, he changed them into very wise, efficient, and very intelligent princes. So that's the power of stories. That's the power of the values that every story intrinsically has. Now in the Panchatantra, there is a story of a crow and a peacock. Let me demonstrate. And then I will ask you the value of it, value that it carries. The characters here are a crow, a peacock, group of peacocks, and what happens, the transaction that happens between them. When the peacocks dance, their feathers spread on the ground, they fall on the ground. So here the crow pecks on. It first feels sad because it's dark, but now it thinks that with peacock feathers on it, it's become beautiful. The crow is sad because it thinks it doesn't look good. And when it sees the peacock, it not only feels jealous, it wants to be like the peacock. Then it realizes, hey, I can fly higher than the peacock. And people here, it's a custom here that after they cook the food, they perform naivedya to Bhagavan and then offer to the crow. They don't offer to the peacock first. They offer to the crow first. So the crow says, hey, people, give me the food, not to you. And I can fly higher than you. So I am also special. So, now I realize that I don't have to feel small or complex when I see something else, someone else. And you cannot shine in deflected glory either. So with this realization, the crow flies away. There's another story between two friends. They're very good friends. And you want the story between two human beings or between an ant and a pigeon? Okay. As we all live our lives, we need good friends, don't we? Friends make our lives very special, very interesting, especially when they're around us during difficult times. I think that's what makes the friendship bond become strong. So, I'm not going to tell the story here. I'm just going to enact. And you yourself tell me the value. For the crow and peacock I answered, but for this I'm not going to answer. What was the value of that story? Message of that story?
A friend in need is a friend indeed.
Great. Wonderful. So there are many such stories when you give them a beautiful aesthetic expression along with music, and then your mudras, your movements, then it really touches the person. And they think about it and realize, yes, this is how. These are the values which, when I imbibe, I am able to be a good person to another, and hence another person also becomes good to me. See, after I did that crow and peacock story, there was this lady who came and told me, Pavithra, no, I really these days I have forgotten to give food to the crow. Now from now on, I'm going to remember every morning I'm going to give food to the crow. I'd like to invite our dear Carolina and share with us. I've heard she's a wonderful dancer, and I have missed watching her perform, but I can tell she's a very, very dedicated and a beautiful dancer. I would like to invite her to share with you how her dance form that she's so devoted to has transformed her, or how has it impacted her. Please come.
Thank you so much for thinking about me. How dance has transformed me. Basically, I can say that dance for me has been, like when I started dancing, it basically saved my life. This was almost 20 years ago, I think, and I was in a situation of much confusion, like family problems and basically confusion within myself. I didn't know where to put my feelings, my energy. Okay, and I'm going to share something like really personal. I also used to drink a lot, take substances like drugs and things. So I was very lost. I was completely confused in life. And so I started to dance, and I started to do modern dance, ballet, and like these kind of Western dances. And I started connecting to myself, to my body, to what the limits of this embodiment is. But I still kept, lots of confusion was still there. Until I started practicing like other martial arts and Eastern disciplines. And one of the times when I was practicing of my teacher in Colombia, my guru in Colombia, who prepared me basically to come to India. His name is Omar Granados, and he prepared me to know the value of what it is to have a commitment, to have a commitment towards an art form, towards a path. So finally when I came to India, so I started on that path, like Eastern martial arts, Tai Chi, Aikido, and I knew some Indian dance forms. Some person that I knew, she had done a little bit of Bharathanatyam, and then some other people came and then demonstrated ODC, and that's when I fell in love also with ODC, and like my inside it was telling me that I should try to pursue this art form in some way. So I started really wishing that I would come to this country for the dance. But it was, but I really have to say that this preparation period, training that I went through there in Colombia, it's the base, because so when you're already full with things inside yourself, whether it's confusion or whether it's theories, thinking that you know things, like also things that you think about yourself, I am this, I am that. So it's not possible to empty yourself and to receive so many things that the art starts giving you. So I really feel that period back before coming to India, which I came to India in 2008, almost 10 years ago, and then it had been already around 8 years which I had that preparation period, like what it's like to have some kind of a guru or have some path, to be in a discipline. So I think I came ready.
So you were practicing martial arts, Odyssey, and?
Over there I was practicing martial arts and I started practicing Odyssey. Most of the time by myself. Sometimes I would travel to Mexico to see a teacher that was there. But most of the time like self-practicing. Until I got a scholarship to come to India for Odyssey dance. And through that same teacher, I got to know about Chow, Mayurbhash Chow. So I came, and base was already there, and through ODC, like the path of that commitment of that, what I can do for the art, instead of like what the art can do for me, how I can benefit from the art, how I can become the super famous dancer, like, so I'm doing this, I'm performing this.
It brought you to a sense of discipline and a commitment.
Yes. And I saw that in Chow was kind of like calling me. Like, I felt like something was telling me that they needed somebody to receive what my guru was trying to give. So many people were there in the class, but nobody was actually like taking the things. And I started getting that feeling. It's like, okay, I can receive more, okay, I will receive more. So, and every day it started to be like that. And not that I stopped my love for Odyssey, or not that it's like, okay, no, now I'm going to do Chow. not like switching in that sense, but I think it was life that kind of started taking me more towards that energy, and I felt that I had more to give and to do with the art, for the art, in that path.
And your conclusions, all this slowly started disappearing.
No, that had disappeared. I mean, I still obviously have internal conflicts.
It does help, the art does help.
Yes, definitely. Whenever I think whenever anything is there, what I stick to is the practice. Like
Can you show us some of your favorite shower steps?
It's a short question.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen, I just heard a little bit. Can you just shortly tell what is this?
Chow?
What is like?
What is what?
What is chow? Chow.
Sure.
Okay, so chow is a traditional form from the state of Odisha. There are three styles basically, and they are located in different parts. One is in Odisha, the one that I practice in Odisha, and it doesn't have a mask. Another one is in West Bengal. That one has a big mask, shiny mask. And then there is another one, the other style in Jharkhand, Saraikela style, and it has a very small mask. The three styles are called chow because they have similar origins and similar movements, but they are each very particular and have their differences. And okay, it's not a classical dance form, but it has classical elements. It also has martial origins, and it has a lot of rooting in the folk, in the everyday chores, the household customs, traditions of the people in this region. But it's an art form that is actually evolving, and it's tied to a festival which is connected to the rituals of spring. Spring, when Shiva and Shakti bless the land for the harvest, for the prosperity, the fertility, well-being of everybody.
Show us some steps. Your favorite.
I have many favorites.
Okay, so this is a ladies' movement. So this is one. And the male style, I like the male style better. I don't have favorites.
Okay, do what
I
comes.
have what it comes. Okay, so something like that.
How you took to this art form, and not only did you thought that it was a process of inner cleansing that is happening, but actually that's true. That's what it happens. That's what it does. And then there is so much of confidence and the values that it brings you adds meaning to your life. So from Panchatantra, let me move on to the Puranic stories that I started doing. Some of you must have seen me perform Sundarakandam. So in Sundarakandam, there are a few aspects which I really love, and I keep thinking about it. Sri Hanuman is a true hero. Not, we used to have these cartoons many years ago. Zorro, then Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. No, Hanuman is way higher than these Supermen. He is the real Superman. He is a true hero. So when he undertakes this mission of bringing back Mother Sita to Lord Rama because she's kidnapped by a demon, on the way he meets a mountain which rises from the ocean and says, please rest for a while. Hanuman, please rest for a while. I would like to extend my hospitality to you. So there Hanuman says, please understand the importance of me going to Lanka. Till I accomplish my task, I have vowed not to rest. So I take this example to convey that how important it is. When we undertake a task, it is so important to have a certain perseverance, to be patient, perseverant, perseverant, and then success does come. And then the beautiful love story between Rama and Sita. Sita says, when Hanuman meets her, Mother Sita says, please tell Rama that I will hold my life only for 1 month. I can't live longer. I can't take this torture anymore. And when he conveys it to Sri Rama, Rama says, oh, Sita says she can live for 1 month. I think she's immortal because I cannot live without her even for a second. So it's such a beautiful love between both of them, which when a person has this experience or has this knowledge that this is how a love should be, their life becomes more smooth. So they do everything to make things full of love and togetherness. And they are together even during their difficult times. So you've seen Sundarakandam, so I don't have to show that again. Let me move on to the next productions. We go through many. Marriage is a beautiful event in one's life. There's a lovely song, Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame Vasudeva Tapabala Ashura Kunapala Sashivadana Rukmini Satyabhamanona Gauri Lord Shiva loves Parvati so much that he gives her his half, and Vishnu loves Lakshmi so much that he always has her in his heart. Then we saw the love between the mother and the child. We saw the bond between two friends. As students here, you see, you're experiencing the love between the teacher and the student. And then in Sundarakandam, you see how there's a love between the Bhakta and Bhagavan. So these experiences are very, very important for our emotional growth. Technological development, industrial development, all the disciplines of knowledge that you study are very good for your living. You need to know, you need to be intelligent. But it's these experiences that gives you an emotional growth, and it's emotional growth that does the inner cleansing. So you can see how the art itself is a means for you to grow, for you to understand, to become more sensitive, to be more aware. But what is the ultimate experience? You need these experiences, it gives you joy, it gives you sorrow, you know how to tackle these problems and you keep growing. But what is the ultimate experience? Before that, let me call Kiran to share with us his journey, his artistic journey.
Thank you, Pavithra, for asking me to do this. And when you said it yesterday, it was quite a, let's talk about how dance has transformed. It seemed like she just popped an existential question and walked away. But I guess the best way to do it is through story, and the biography is one. And I started dance quite late in my life, like relatively, in the sense of I was 22 when I started dancing. But what I've come to realize by now is that the time before that has been so formative in shaping me and the way I think and work, that's something that's deep in my dance today. And that has been in education and science and engineering, which of course for an Indian of a certain generation, it's almost a cliché. But I remember going into it with a lot of eagerness, and I really wanted to do it. So there is that sense of wanting to dive into something that I started off with. But I guess at some point, although that's not really the story of the dance itself, is that some point soon in the engineering I realized that it's not science, and what I wanted to do was science. And it's curious that the system doesn't tell you that science is not engineering, and that they're two very different things. So that gave me a lot of freedom, and quite accidentally I started dancing. And accidentally Odissi. It was, I wanted to learn dancing, and there was this, I had moved to Singapore to study actually at the time. That's where I did my engineering, and there was a teacher who moved from Delhi to Singapore, and she was looking to start classes. And I signed up because I just felt I wanted to dive into this other thing. And I had never seen Odissi, I didn't know what it was, and I was into it. So, but into the form, and I really enjoy the learning process. Even till today, I think that's really what keeps me very engaged with life itself. And somewhere with that, because it is, of course, Odissi has this very specific kind of juncture of the torso, which moves side to side, which I hope I'm able to show today, because then I just could not do it. And that was it. And of course, I mean, the very idea of coordinating hand and feet and doing different things was extremely complex for me then, because by the time I came to dance, I was really a geek. I had never even played sports seriously. So there was this, wow, what is this thing kind of, this kind of discovering the body and its capacity. So that was, of course, happening. But apart from the rhythmic complexity of Indian dance, there was this specific way of moving one part of the body which I was quite sure I'm trying, but she's like, nothing's happening, do it. And that's to the point that that's again a teacher and who I have a lot of regard for. I'm so grateful when someone gives you that much care and attention and even room, because I actually said, are you sure men can do this? Not in a cocky way, but really because she had set up an environment where it was very biologic. So I said, I look around and I'm the only guy in class. And if I'm the only one having this problem, then my sampling brain tells me that maybe it's the thing. So what she did was quite, in retrospect, quite amazing. So she connected me with a Kathak dancer who's a male Kathak dancer also from Calcutta. So if you think male-female is the problem, go try that. I did, and I loved it. And it was instant. I was in a receipt for her and Kathak receipt for me. It was super fun. We had this is almost like a coach athlete thing going on with the star going on. It had all of the very rhythmic and very, how it's structured in Tukdas is also very gratifying immediately. Whereas certain other forms, they focus so much on the technique that by the time you see something come out of, it's quite a while. So the gratification is postponed. Somehow in Kathak it's not. And this is way back in the past, but and then I moved out of Singapore. I wanted to pursue dance art full time. So I went to art school. I was just telling him last night that for me I treated art school as some kind of a refugee camp. I gravitated towards it.
So let me not present too much of a low sequence. Tell us what do you think challenges of being an artist?
That's actually, when you said that thing, it's like, that's really what's kept me with dance, because I find so much of it a problem today. And I'm so glad to have even seen this, because that's one of the itches I carry about dance. I almost carry dance as a problem today, a problem that I'd like to solve, in some senses. I mean, not to resolve, but like someone who said, engineers, one eye is pessimistic, always looking for problems, and the other eye is optimistic, looking for solutions. This is the kind of a minuscule way, and I find with dance, one of the problems I've constantly experienced is that, unlike other artists, and I'll often be jealous of them, that their making process contains the experience. Like when a writer writes, the writer reads. When a musician makes sound, the musician hears sound. When a visual artist does something, he or she sees it. There is that feedback, and that for me was always what does a dancer do? It dances, and I completely, very early I rejected the studio with mirror business. It didn't make sense to me. But when you dance, you feel. And if that has to be the experience that has to be transmitted. And I look at stage experiences and I'm like, what is happening? Sometimes I'm really very disenchanted with the stage craft of the proscenium stage specifically. And when something like this happens, you're doing it for such like 30 seconds or a minute, and there's so much affect. It's so beautiful. And this is something, the mehfil and the coziness of art, which I really, especially with dance, because it's such an intimate form, that I kind of always working and juggling with this. That's the problem. It's like how can we present dance like this? But of course, the reality of being a professional artist is that the stage is this economy of scale. Within this amount of time, you have X 300 people watching, and so of course the return is there. I understand that model, but artistically, I still have reservations and problems with it. So that's something I know I feel dance when I dance. But when I'm sharing dance, what are the formats in which the feeling, and I'm almost in the few years switched to the workshop model. So I moved into being a multidisciplinary artist now, so I present installations and videos and do dance workshops. Because I'd rather have people dancing than watching me dance sometimes. And I mean, I'm experimenting with all the models of sharing dance, and I think that's that's where I am right now. And also with this intuition of constantly sticking with Indian forms, with Odissi, and with the practice of yoga as almost as a root, like a bedrock. Exactly. And the last few years I've also been traveling a lot to Indonesia, learning Javanese dance, court dance, which is of course very extremely related to this culture. And where I am today is kind of investigating dance as a practice in relation to two other parties in the room who I really feel if I have to have a conversation about dance, science and religion have to be in the room. Because it's religion that gives us this entire context of the ritual and the spiritual. This is very powerful, and it's very difficult. The stage completely disembeds it sometimes and just places an idol on the corner which is insufficient. Like in a place like Pavithra is the epitome of this kind of art being situated inside ritual, which is so beautiful about it. And the other is this language of science, which although I am critical of it, but I come from it. It's so much a part of me that when we talk about dance being energetic, even energy is a metaphor. And in the last few days we've had this amazing opportunity to talk about rasa, the experience, and that's really an alternative vocabulary to energy. But we have to somehow relate in between these and create a dialogue, and this is the triangle that I'm in right now. The Odissi.
Or whatever you want to express through art.
Odissi is we are presented like what I like about it is it works with the paradox or this complexity of the symmetry, which is the sum of brothers standing equal weight, and the asymmetry, which is the abhanga, which is. So I take this vocabulary from Tai Chi, which is the full foot and the empty foot. So it's in contact with the earth, but the energy of weight. And so immediately what happens is visually there's a subtle shift, but energetically there's a whole other connection system that is activated by just doing this. And of course the larger thing is, so you have the chauka, which is the square, and then it breaks to and here this foot is empty. It's always free.
And is yours, what is this?
Chauka.
Is chauka easier than Aramandi?
I think so. I mean, I've tried Naramandi too. It's well, it's a matter of like this problem was existed before, but after yoga I find this it's a stylistic philosophy. Under it, if you know how to get it, there's no.
Let's try step you in chauka and me in Aramandi. And I want to see who tires first.
It's a dancer.
So we'll do the Tantrotsav.
That's the
The first one, we keep saying one. So, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3, yeah, 3.
No, I mean, it was a joke because this is something we were having a conversation of, that I think Odissi as a form holds itself in the slowness. Yeah, because it works also with this divide of the body with the lower and upper half. This is in tal and this is allowed to be betal. Betal in a sense of having delays, like it will come back. So and this can come back whenever it kind of feels or wants, or if it doesn't. It's okay. It's a different language, and so I find like when you go extremely fast, this cannot, as a couple they break down. Yeah? Because this needs to retain the character and it needs to be that latecomer who's purposely interested. And it has that thing and somehow with speed it doesn't. Doesn't it?
So what would you like to do with what you're learning? Sorry?
Like I said, for me the speed is learning. I don't see anything to it. So I've now charted out this very ambitious project of next going to Sri Lanka, Thailand, Cambodia, doing these, basically the temple dances, everything that has the logic of bending every joint and small articulations. And it's kind of built on this, but I'm now just kind of calling for myself a yogic blueprint or a body mind. And I really don't need to have ends in mind because I also sustain myself through research dance. I mean that's a part of the reality of it, but every now and then when I feel an artwork needs to come out, it happens. And then there are contexts to present it. So it's working like that now. So.
Thank you. It's beautiful to see so many art forms being expressed and how many kinetics, the body language, the theory behind it, the mind behind it. And I'm sure that in your journey, a lot of success will come to you. Once there was a war between Devas and Asuras, the demons and the lords of heaven, and the Devas won. So Indra, who is the lord of the heaven, he becomes very proud and arrogant. Oh, it's only because of me and my might and valor that we have won this great war. And Indra summons Lord of Fire, Agni, and says, go and ask him who it is. So Agni goes to this Yaksha, it's called Yaksha. And even before Agni goes, Yaksha says, hey, who are you? And Agni says, hey, you don't know me? So there his ego is deflated because Agni, we all know is fire. You don't know me? You don't know me? I can burn anything. So the Yaksha says, really? Okay, burn this blade of grass. And Agni, he just first blows it, but it doesn't burn, no fire comes. And then Agni, every step he makes it more intense and strong to burn that single blade of grass. And Agni has 12 tongues. So all the tongue to burn it. It doesn't burn. Feeling very humiliated, he goes back to Indra and says, sorry, I don't know who this Yaksha is. So Lord Indra says, okay, Vayu, go and find out who this Yaksha is. Yaksha says, hey, who are you now? Vayu says, I can lift anything in this world. Okay, lift this. So Vayu, all forms of Vayu, tornado, the heavy current, he's everything Vayu tries, but he's not able to lift the blade of grass. So Vayu also goes humiliated and feeling small. Indra is now very keen to know who this being is. So he himself goes and with all humility he bows and says, who are you? I want to know who you are. So this Yaksha turns into Goddess Uma and says, don't think that whatever you are endowed with is yours. It's not because of your valor, it's not because of your strength, it's not because of your skill that you have won. It is the Brahman, what we call as consciousness that pervades all. You are an instrument of that. It is because of that great consciousness, which pervades you and makes you act, that you have won. So when I was telling you about what is that ultimate happiness, yes, we need different experiences to grow, to make us happy, because after all, we all need happiness in life. We all want success and happiness. The true happiness lies in understanding this self, which is consciousness, which is the Brahman, the Atma that pervades everyone, you, me, every tiny atom. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, Amanitvam madham vitvam ahimsa kshantirajhavam acharyopasanam saucham sthiryam atmavinigraha. There are 20 qualities which Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjuna, that if you have these 20 qualities, O Arjuna, your mind is so prepared to understand this self-knowledge. Amanitvam madam vitvam. Don't have conceit. Don't think that you are important all the time. Kshanti, compassion, arjavam. May your thoughts, your words and action be aligned. Don't think something, say something or do something. Acharyopasanam saucham. Service to the teacher. Service to the teacher not only means doing help, but also practicing, learning, hearing whatever the teacher has to say and doing your homework. Acharyopasanam saucham. Purity. Purity is not just wearing good dresses or having a bath and wearing a perfume. It also means inner purity, a mind, a heart that is free of conflicts. Sthiryam atmavinigraha. Be so steadfast in gaining that knowledge. So these are some of the qualities. There are some more that happen. So when we imbibe these qualities, that's where this understanding that we are the self, that means we are free. Our nature is actually joy and happiness is very easy for us to understand because the mind gets prepared. So our art, which is a medium to elevate ourselves. Art is not only to entertain, it is to educate as well as to elevate. So I always say the 3 E's: to entertain, to educate, to elevate. So before I finish the topic today, I would like to invite Stella, Stella, to show us some nice Odyssey movements. Day before yesterday, I was going up to hang my clothes and I saw her so much of focus, having the earphone and then practicing. It was very sweet to see. Express any story from your lessons and show us. Story that has touched your heart, story that has made you think or helped you.
Thank you for asking me to participate. This story I would like to share with you is something really fresh that happened in my life. and it's about how I met my actual guru of dance. I have been in Odissi since 2010. That was the first time I met Odissi. And from that time until 2016, I was like a mad, going from one school to another, from one teacher to another, from one guru to another. And changing, and I was not feeling completely satisfied of what I was finding. So at some point in 2017, something very tough happened in my life. When I was in some school, in some institute in Orissa learning, I had a scholarship for that. So it was kind of, I got a scholarship. But life sent me to a place I didn't want to be. And things started going very bad day by day and week after week, until I started at quite strong health problems, and I had to come back to my country, which is Italy, losing the scholarship, which I was fighting almost 2 years to have. And so I was feeling that it was impossible to me to continue to learn in one place, which I was not completely not respecting the work they were carrying on. So I say, okay, no matter of what, I will stop from here. So I came back to my country, and I was really without guru. And I was feeling like, okay, I learned something, but how can I dance without guru? I really didn't know how to find someone, because I was looking so much, going in India and asking friends, oh please give me an advice, and going to the guru of this dancer, that dancer. It was like mad. So I say, okay, I surrender, I don't know what to do, I will stop. And then one morning, I was in my town. It was fun because early morning I was taking line for taking blood test. So it was very early in the morning. I was like sleepy and bored, and I was scrolling Facebook. I'm like, okay, let's do something. I want to kill the time. Let's do scroll. And then I noticed that one Odissi master was coming to my town, which never happened before. Never happened that some... she's Guru Pratibha Singh, and so yes, I registered for the workshop, and it was like 1 week workshop. So I went there and I fell in love with her and with the style she was teaching, which is the style of her father, Guru Surendranath. It was a big change for me because I left the style I was learning. And I was thinking, okay, maybe this can be bad or something like that. And actually I found out that I got closer to myself by changing, by this change I was very afraid to do. So this is one of the most important stories in my path as an Odissi dancer, because
And so you are learning and doing for us.
yeah.
Here you are learning, continuing learning and performing for us.
sure your love for the art will keep making you bloom into a beautiful artist. Adi Shankaracharya says, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Muramate. Oh people, as long as the man has money and good physical strength, everyone will come to him. Then when old age happens and he's not able to do anything, his own wife will not speak to him. Therefore, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam. Oh beautiful women, don't think vain of your beauty. Time devours all. So don't think that it is your beauty. With your beauty you can win everything. Samprapte sannidhite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukham karane. When the time of death comes, not your grammatical expertise, your scientific discoveries, your famous dance performances, music performances, or the many battles you have won, or the study, anything that you have done will not come to help you. What will come to help you is Bhaj Govindam. These are some very stark truths that the great seer Adi Shankaracharya, Sri Adi Shankaracharya tells us. There is truth in it. So he says, keep doing your duty, keep doing what you have to do. Let your mind and heart belong to the self. Govinda doesn't mean not only in the form of Govinda, Krishna, means that self which pervades you and me. Let your life, in your life spend to understand that truth, to understand your real nature which is free and limitless, so that you are free from any insecurity. I hear that Svetlana is a beginner in dance form. So maybe next time when you gather more experiences, we would love to hear you. I was asked to sing some bhajans, so I would love to sing with you. I will sing and you can follow. Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol. Ek Prabhu ke anek naam, Ek Prabhu ke anek naam, Prem se bolo Jaya Jaya Ram, Prem se bolo Jaya Jaya Ram. One Lord has many names, but just say with love, Ram Ram Ram. That's Ram. Prem se bolo Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol. Ek Prabhu ke anek Now you have to sing with me. Shri Hari Bol, Shri Hari Bol, Mukunda Madhava Govinda Bol. एक प्रभु के अनेक नाम, प्रेम से बोलो जय जय राम। एक प्रभु के अनेक नाम, प्रेम से बोलो जय जय राम। हरि नाम में सब भूल जाओ, इस दिन हर घर हरि गुण गाओ। हरि नाम में सब भूल जाओ, इस दिन हर घर हरि गुण गाओ। श्री हरि बोल, श्री हरि बोल, मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल। श्री हरि बोल, श्री हरि बोल, मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल।
Where you brought together stories, bhajans, dance and inspirational stories from other people's lives. Thank you everybody for sharing your stories with us with such a warm heart. What a lovely evening. Thank you. May I please invite James Ji to present a small token of honor.
I'm not sure what Guruji wants me to say, but then he always puts me up to these tasks. But thank you so much, Pavithra, for coming. She's been very kind to come because I've been nagging her from August to come and I haven't let her off the hook. It's been wonderful having you and thanks a lot for fitting us in. I hope you do come next year too. Thanks.
I'm going to take a picture with all of you. Come. Katrina. So you have to stand here and step around. Maybe he can take a picture. He can take a picture. Do you want the phone?